Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you all doing today? I am your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you so much to each and every single one of you for helping this channel to grow. We are slowly approaching 1,200 subscribers, so thank you all for that. If you like what you see and you enjoy the content, and if you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and of course hit the bell to receive notifications. I do have an eBay store called the Carolina Collector 001 where I'm selling loose sports cards, graded slabs, various other items from time to time. It helps to support the channel, so click the link in the description box below. It'll take you right to my eBay store. I actually have two sales right here that I have to get out sometime today, so thank you to the two customers that picked these up. I have well over 400 listings at this point, so there's a lot of stuff out there to choose from. Thank you to those that have already, and I will most likely list some more cards. Forgive me, it is very early in the morning. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:03 a.m.
So it's still pretty early for yours truly. I'm a night owl, so as you know, I do suffer from insomnia, but there are some nights I just don't sleep. So if you can't hear in the background, I got the air fryer going. I got me some food cooking. So I'm going to have myself a good breakfast this morning and go about my day as usual. But I thought that this was serious enough to talk about because as a collector myself, not just a buyer and seller on eBay, but, you know, I'm a Transformers collector, a jersey collector, you know, things like that. I mean, I don't collect Pokemon, but there are a lot of Pokemon collectors out there that collect the trading cards and all that kind of stuff, and things may change this week when it comes to importing things here into the United States. It seems that Europe across the board will be delaying, if not totally stopping, shipments from coming into the United States because of Trump's tariffs. So to get a little bit more context on this subject, I'm going to include this news clip for all of you to watch, and then we'll discuss.
I have an alert for anyone who gets shipments from overseas. Mail carriers around the world are pausing service to the U.S. in response to an executive order signed by President Trump. I'm joined tonight by Brian Chung, who joins us live. And Brian, what kind of packages are we talking about here?
Yeah, Tom, it could choke up Etsy or eBay orders from abroad or even a family member's care package from reaching you. That's because the president signed an executive order ending an exemption Friday that's allowed goods under $800 to come into the U.S. without extra charges for the last decade. That's having a major impact around the world. I mean, look at this list of countries. Mail carriers in all of these places say they're stopping shipments to the U.S. entirely for now, since they have no idea how those tariffs will be collected. And by the way, the administration says this is to stop fentanyl from coming into this country.
So, Brian, when those tariffs kick in on Friday, what happens? And the prices immediately go up?
Yeah, well, I mean, at some point, if the international shipments do pick back up, those items will be tariffed at the country-specific rates set by the administration, which right now range from 10 to 50%, which can mean hundreds in added costs. In fact, I spoke with a stationery store owner who told me today that's not going to be good for them.
I would say about half of what we have is from other countries.
Are you going to have to raise your prices?
Yes, we are. And a lot of friends of mine who are in retail, we've all sort of said the same thing.
One important note, though, gifts shipped from abroad under $100 will remain tariff-free, meaning no issue if you're getting a postcard or a souvenir from abroad, Tom.
All right, Brian, thanks for explaining.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pretty frightening situation because if you're a collector like myself, for example, I'm wearing a Bayern Munich 125th anniversary jersey. If you're somebody that orders football or soccer kits from across the pond, you may not be able to get it. And if you do get your jerseys, they're going to be way more expensive. And these jerseys are already expensive enough as it is. Try to imagine a jersey like the one I'm wearing right now. This is Bayern Munich's 125th anniversary jersey. And I ordered this from a U.S. website because the German website, they completely sold out. It was probably one of the most sought-after jerseys last year that Bayern Munich have ever had in their itinerary. And I ended up getting a custom template, which you see right there with Harry Kane on it. And I also had to source out a Bundesliga patch for this jersey because I wanted it to be field accurate to what they used on the field. Because the one that they offered in Bayern Munich's website, it had the name up on top and it had the number on the bottom, which is indicative of their Champions League strip. But I wanted it to look like the exact strip like what they would use during the home game where they wore this. So even the custom template came from across the pond. It's frightening that he's taking this unprecedented step to force these countries who have been ripping us off to pay up. Everyone on the left talks about, well, you have to pay a fair share, equality. Well, Trump's actually doing that when it comes to business. I get why he's doing it. He wants to try to wheel things in to create American jobs and, build American facilities to produce American goods and all that sort of thing. And it can be very expensive here. I mean, as a former union guy, a lot of materials that were used can be very pricey, especially fixtures, etc. So, importing that stuff from overseas, is much cheaper in a lot of ways. But if those goods and services can be produced here in this country, that would lower the price for all of us. The problem is getting everything jump-started. And the left don't like that. And they try to throw legal wrenches in his gears all the time. How do I personally feel about this? Again, I'm wedged somewhere in the middle because, I like to see us being independent of all of these goofy nations. But at the same time, goods and services are what drives the economy. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot with this sort of thing. And if many of you are like me who are Jersey collectors, Transformers collectors, if you're into the Pokemon stuff, or if you are into, let's just say, Godzilla or Dragon Ball Z or whatever have you, you're going to be affected by this. Just like I'm going to be affected by this. So, I'm really not quite sure how I feel about all of this. For right now, I have no need to, go out of my way to buy anything, but I have 2 orders that are, still in limbo. I ordered, actually, no, that's not true. There are 3 of them that I ordered. I ordered Missing Link Sunstreaker, Missing Link RC, and Lio Convoy. All 3 of them are coming from overseas. So those 3 orders may not even show up. I might, they might be canceled. As far as I know, who's to say what's going to happen, in the future? Lio Convoy was supposed to be released already, but, because I got an email a while ago that they were supposed to be released in August, but we're at the end of August, so that might be pushed back until September, October, November. What about Missing Link RC? What about Missing Link Sunstreaker? I just don't know, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very frightening situation. I don't know how to feel about it. Again, toys are not a necessity, but the problem is, if you don't get these particular items right then and there, just like with certain sports cards that go through pre-order through Fanatics and what have you, or certain sneakers, what's going to end up happening? The scalpers and the flippers are going to get their hands on them, and then you're not going to be able to get anything at a decent price. If you don't jump on these pre-orders, and besides, the term pre-order is improper English. There's no such thing as a pre-order. Either you order a thing or you don't. But the simple fact of the matter is, if you don't get your hands on these things as a consumer and a collector, the third parties are going to get their hands on them. The eBay scalpers, the flippers are going to get their hands on them, and you're going to lose out. And you're going to end up paying 2x for what they're worth. I mentioned this already, the Fan Home Enterprise G. I wanted that thing. It's retailed at $95, and I emailed Fan Home personally. But what do you think the answer was? Well, you have to wait and see. So in other words, I would have to be forced to buy a subscription and get Starships that I have clearly no interest in. But then if you look on eBay, a $95 Starship is now going for over $200 by some eBay flipper scalper asshole. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in very uncertain times right now. Again, I don't know how I feel about this because I am pro-America. I want to see American jobs. I want to see American manufacturing. I want to see everything come home and come full circle here because we don't need to depend on outside nations for fuel and resources and goods and services. That should be for us. But then you got companies like Temu, for example, or Etsy that depend on, sales from here in the United States, if they're selling from, India or Italy. You just saw the news report yourself. It's quite frightening. It's very frightening. So let's see what happens down the road. Maybe we'll talk about this subject again, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So if you're a collector like me, be aware. You know, it's about to get real hot in this room. So anyway, I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Take care, everybody.